Our last speaker for the evening is Mr. Cornelius Greyling, and he is the CEO of Volacoin, and that's a crypto micro payment solution company for pay-as-you-go internet providers. And he's also the CEO of Avocado Chocolate, a software development company providing turnkey software solutions and consulting services to companies in North America and Europe. With over 7 years experience in technology and entrepreneurship, Cornelius currently employs 30 developers across 2 companies and has managed over 100 different software development projects across various fields such as agriculture, education, medical, and HR, just to name a few. So today he's calling in from his house in Cape Town, where he stays with his wife and amazing English bulldog. Over to you, Mr. Cornelius.
Thanks, Jackson. Yeah, the reason I just said I'm phoning in with my bulldog is he's sitting right below me. So if he snores, just know it's not me. Okay, I'm going to share my screen now. Just disabled, so just give me access to that.
Amanda, if you would just give hosting access to Cornelius, that would be great.
That's done. Please check.
Yeah, thanks. Okay. Can you guys see my screen? Good?
Yes, we can see you, Cornelius.
Perfect.
Okay. Hi, guys. So my chat today is going to be about the headline is we need devs, but especially ones who can do more. Thanks for the introduction, Jackson. Yeah, that's kind words. And just a little bit about myself. My name is Cornelius. My journey into software started at a very young age. Obviously, like I think most people here, you know, playing games, installing software on my computer, connected to the internet, and just a general fascination with technology and information. My business, or my software selling business, basically started when I was matric. I had this idea around creating a mobile app that could help people navigate malls and shopping centers. And I was looking for somebody that could help me develop this. And I reached out to Professor John Greyling, which is also my dad. And he put me in contact with Martin Stork, one of his first year students. And together we started a business called Mallcrawl, and we developed our first app with the idea of packaging it to sell it to businesses. And after that, after matriculating, I went to study computer science at Nelson Mandela University, and that's where my fascination with software just grew even more. You know, I got to peek behind the curtains how most of our world works. You know, everything, you start seeing software everywhere, from robots to computers, cell phones, ATMs, everything. You know, everything's got software behind it. And once you've peeked behind that curtain, you can't not see it. You know, everything you see, there's a reason. Somebody had to write that. Somebody had to make that decision. Every app you use, you know, why did they make this decision? Why did they make that decision? This is a good decision. Is that a bad decision? You know, once you peek behind that curtain, your mind just expands to thousands of different ways of that software gets used in our daily lives. And that fascination grew to a point where my original business partner and I was approached by investors to start a software development company specifically based out of Port Elizabeth, to start building software for his group of companies. And that's when Avocado Chocolate was started. So we started the business in 2015, December 2015, in a house in Summerstrand, where we still operate to this day. Obviously, post-COVID, we're very remote, so I've got developers all across South Africa, but our core is still based in Port Elizabeth. And just a unique reason why I feel comfortable talking about this specific topic about we need developers is over the last 7 years, I've interviewed, I've hired many developers. You know, over the years I've hired and I've spoken to so many developers and hired them. But on the flip side, I've also sold software. I've sold software to big corporates. I've sold software to small enterprises. I've sold software to mom and pop shops. so I've had a wide spectrum of different people that I had to sell software to. And it started out selling software, selling solutions, selling turnkey solutions. And where we got to the point where we basically just sell resources. Companies phone us and say, listen, we need to increase our team by 2 or 3 developers. Do you have anybody that can help us? Or companies say, listen, we need to spin up a new team very quickly. Can we put a team together? Can you guys put a team together that we can manage remotely? We're at the moment, we basically do that mostly. We put a team together for businesses in America and Europe, and that are looking for talent, that can't find talent in their local industries, or it's too expensive, so they're looking elsewhere to less competitive markets. So that's basically who I am in my background. So let's start with the first topic. We need devs. Obviously, John and Darrell both touched on this topic, but I'm just going to expand it a little bit more and just talk why I think we need devs and why I think we need more devs than anybody can really tell you. So the International Data Corporation did a survey 2 years ago, and they found basically there's a global developer shortage. Of 1.4 million in 2021, and that will grow to 4 million in 2025. So if there are any parents listening to this call, or teachers or students, by the time that you graduate, there's going to be 4 to 5 million job opportunities across the world looking for capable and qualified software developers to take that up. And that will just keep on growing as we move to a more digital world. It's not going to slow down. Software is not going to go back into its bottle. The genie has left and everybody wants it. So one of the things that is very prevalent in my world, hiring software developers and trying to keep them around, is that basically research has shown this, that the average software developer will change jobs every 2 to 3 years. In the past, you would cling on to, like, if you talk to your parents, they would cling on to a job and stay with the same company for 25, 30, 40, 45 years because the job was so valuable. You don't want to leave the company because, so grateful for your job. Not saying that developers aren't grateful for their job, but in the software world, it's so flexible and the opportunities are so wide that after 2 or 3 years, that usually the saying goes, if you stop learning and you stop earning, you move to a different job. So basically in software development, when you stop learning, when you've grown tired of a certain tech stack or a certain job culture or a certain city, you just move to a different company. And the reality is the software developer has got so much opportunity that there's job security. There's job security that if I don't like the job I'm at now, I'll just find another one. There's massive companies that across the world that basically do this matching for you. In South Africa, we've got a company very well known called OfferZen that basically matches developers with positions out there. And they've taken a radical new approach of basically being very employee friendly, basically making sure that the employee actually wants to work at the company and helping companies present themselves in the best light possible so that future employees want to work there. So changing jobs is a very regular thing in software development, and that's because there's so many opportunities out there. Number 2, I personally feel, and that's but basically this slide just says lawyers, accountants, and doctors are less than developers. And the reason I say this, I'm not hitting on their career paths, but if you're a developer or if you're a lawyer or accountant and you want to go work in America or Europe or South America, wherever, before you move, you need to go study. You need to go write an exam, basically learning their new laws, learning their accounting practices, the tax rules, or how they treat people, all those different things. But if you're a software developer, you just move. It's an international language. Software is international language. It's not just spoken in one country or one region or one company. It's international. That skill is truly international. I know some degrees would say, yeah, our degree gives you clearance to go practice in the UK. That's great, but can you practice in UK while sitting in Kenya? Can you practice in Madagascar while working for a Fortune 500 company in the US? Software development is a truly international field because It's the same language. The software that gets developed in the US is the same software that gets developed here in South Africa. You'll find a lot of international companies actually have software teams all across the world. And that's why I truly believe that development is a truly global global career path. And that's why I do believe development skills are greater than lawyers, accountants, doctors, because it's truly transferable between regions and countries. I just want to tell an interesting story about Ukrainian developers, talking about this international. So not only can you move from South Africa to the UK to work for a company there, or move from South Africa to the US, you can be anywhere and work for anyone. So working in my business, we work with a company called Splinks. We've been working with them for about a year. And as far as I know, the company is headquartered in Spain. The CEO, I've met him, I spoke to him, I met with the CTO, I've met with a few of their technical people. All of them are Spaniards. They've great meetings. They came to South Africa. I've spoken to them. And a few months ago, when Russia invaded Ukraine, one of the deliverables that was supposed to be done it was a Monday. It was supposed to be done on the Friday. And on Thursday, I'm like, how far are you guys? And no response. And the next week, I'm like, how far are you guys? And they're like, oh, sorry, but our team is offline. I'm like, why is your team offline? They're like, oh no, 90% of our developers actually sit in Ukraine, and half of them got conscribed to the Ukrainian army. It was just interesting, just realization that we really work in international development field. And digging further, I was interested. I was like, oh, I didn't know that so many developers sit in Ukraine. And basically, turns out about 200,000 developers sit in Ukraine working for external companies, and big companies that you all know, called like Adobe, Photoshop has a big dev shop in Ukraine. Facebook's got developers there. Microsoft's got developers there. A lot of companies got developers in Ukraine. So yeah, it's a truly global career. It's not a career for narrow-minded people. It's really a career for people who want to think big and think outside of the box and really be world travelers. So I just want to wrap up this part of the talk about we need more devs. Number one, like we've all said, massive global shortage. Number two, skills that are applicable internationally. And number three, work from anywhere, truly. Not work from anywhere meaning, yeah, you can work from home, but just make sure you're in the same city, or work from home, but you need to be in the same time zone, or work from home, but you need to speak English. It's truly work from anywhere, work from any background, work from any city, work from any country, really work from anywhere. And this gets me to my second part of my chat I want to talk to you guys about, and the second subscript is we need developers, but especially ones who can do more. As software development has grown over the years, I mean, your parents probably didn't consider software development as a career opportunity. It's grown over the years. So has the need, and so has the career transformed to a place where I almost correlated to an accounting career. Going forward, there is going to be a split in software development. There's going to be your typical blue-collar, white-collar split. You'll have your developers that go through your code camps and your boot camps and those things, because the volume of work is so high that we cannot always afford that all developers spend 3 years studying a degree. We just need people to do menial tasks in software, building forms, building, like stuff that you see every day. But then there's going to be a split, blue collar and white collar. Now, when I say white collar software developers, I basically just mean it's the software developers that have more to offer than just software developing skills. These are the software developers that bring more skills to the table. So they would be software developers, proficient in writing code, great, at solving problems, solving technical problems, but they bring something extra. They bring either great communication skills, meaning that they can take a problem and not just code it on the screen, but can talk to a crowd of people, talk to a company, or talk in a boardroom and explain that problem. Those are your software developers that would go on to be your typical CTO. But then also just in your product development teams, you'll need software developers with a experience in plumbing. So if you want to build a mobile app, a few years ago, we built a mobile app for an engineering company, basically used by engineers to detect and monitor and fix leaks, water pipe leaks. And we had a full-time engineer on the project telling us, listen here, that doesn't make sense to put it on that screen because that's completely something different to that. You truly need somebody that can bring something more to the table. So I like using this example when speaking to people about software, and I always tell them, like, software is like cocaine. We're all addicted. We're all software addicts. So on the flip side of things, software is also like selling cocaine. If the quality and the price is good enough, the demand is endless. It's basically what this means is software is everywhere. So in the past, software was relegated to the dark corners of an office building, teams you didn't see or speak to. Software has graduated to be in every asset of every world because everybody's addicts. Your doctors want software in their practices to help, speed up patient information. Your accountants want software in their practices to help them with their time management systems. Your scientists want software in their labs to help them crunch the numbers and create models around what software is. Everybody's addicted. Every industry has had a little taste, and now they just want more. They want to speed up everything. They want to optimize everything. They want to just make it faster, better, quicker. And that's basically software is everywhere. And to have software everywhere, you need people from everywhere in software. So one of the big areas that has exploded over the last 2-3 years is basically Web3. I don't know how many of you guys know CryptoKitties or PancakeSwap, or these are all massive systems out there. I mean, PancakeSwap, which is a system that allows you to swap one cryptocurrency for another cryptocurrency, I think they're worth over $3 billion the last time I checked. These are all crypto businesses that are heavily financed products. And if you have a heavily financed products, you need people with accounting, chartered accounting, backgrounds. People understand business, people understand money, that can make these things happen. So this slide basically I put up is basically the physics of income received in advance. So in my business, when we deal with payments, technically we allow people to top up their wallets, and then from that wallets being able to send or spend or sell their coins that they previously put in their wallets in exchange for money. And the people that purchase these coins can then go and redeem it on hotspots at home or hotspots in their communities for internet. So one of my lead software engineers comes from a physics background, and he was in charge. He was one of the features he was in charge of was developing our integration of our system into our accounting system. So a lot of accounting systems are run online, and he basically had to write a piece of code to explain to our accounting system what happens, because you still need to pay taxes and audits and all these things. What happens if somebody tops up their wallet? So I had to explain. So we had to get our accountant in, and she sat with this physics guy, and a whole day explained to him, what does it mean if somebody tops up? How do we put it into accounting? And basically, at the end of the day, it turns out it's just income received in advance. You receive the money in advance, you hold it on for that person until he uses it for internet, and it turns into profit, or it turns into an invoice that needs to send out to the ISP. But basically, what I'm just trying to say is, if I had an engineer that worked for my team with an accounting background, I would have not spent a whole day planning and thinking through this. It would have been a quick action. That same engineer with a physics background, 2 or 3 years ago, he built a mobile game for us. And the mobile game is basically, it just uses a very basic physics. And he didn't even think about it. He just did it in a day. Took him a few hours. Nobody even asked him questions. Because he came from a physics background, it was perfect for him. now today or last month when you had to develop something in accounting, I had to get somebody from our accounts department, an accountant with no computer science knowledge to explain to this engineer what does it mean when you receive money and how do you need to code that and how do you need to put the things into debit and credit and all this kind of things. So basically just the cross-pollination of skills are becoming more and more prevalent as software is growing into this new world. That's my talk, guys, and I just wanted to use this time just to break open your mind and just basically tell you guys that there's a whole world out there that are looking for software developers, but especially software developers that can do a little bit more. I've done a few of these talks over the last few years, and it's always interesting a few years down the line when people send me their CVs. But yeah, in your third year, please send me your CV. I would love to employ you for an internship or a full-time employment. And I'm looking forward to see you guys on this journey. Thank you.